A 5.1 magnitude earthquake has hit Myanmar's Mandalay, interrupting rescue operations. Rescuers trying to retrieve a body buried under the rubble of a building were seen running away in shock as the small tremor shook the ground. The 5.1 magnitude quake comes 2 days after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit Myanmar and sent strong tremors in Thailand, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. Over 1,600 people have been reported dead so far, while thousands are wounded. Many are feared trapped beneath the rubble of collapsed buildings. Satellite images show the scale of devastation in Myanmar, and these are the before and after satellite images from the cities of Sagaing and Mandalay, showing how various structures collapsed and were turned into rubble in seconds. Footage released by Myanmar's army-run broadcasters showed the damage sustained by the historic Mandalay Palace, the old clock tower, front gate and relic tower, which were among the landmarks on the palace grounds that sustained serious damage. Rescue and relief operations are in full swing in Myanmar. Earlier, rescue workers were seen pulling a woman out from the rubble of a collapsed building. The powerful quake has triggered a large-scale power outage in Myanmar's capital. The city was plunged into darkness even as rescue and relief efforts continued. And more images of destruction continue to come out of Myanmar. A new footage on social media showed huge plumes of smoke engulfing the University of Mandalay. Cracks on some roads in Myanmar's capital have widened to nearly 1 meter. Repair workers have placed tree branches in the gaps to warn drivers. In Bangkok, rescue teams are still looking for survivors at the site of a 30-story skyscraper that collapsed following the powerful quake. 17 people have died so far, while 47 are feared trapped under the rubble. Rescue teams were seen using excavators and rescue dogs to search through the huge pile of rubble. US military personnel, Chinese technical experts and medical teams, they joined Thai authorities to intensify relief and search operations. The USGS, the US Geological Survey, estimates that the death toll in Myanmar could exceed 10,000 and losses could surpass the country's GDP. Meanwhile, anti-coup fighters have declared a 2-week partial ceasefire to facilitate rescue efforts. Aid continued to pour into Myanmar from across the world. An Indian Air Force military plane landed at the international airport in Yangon, carrying relief packages from India. A Chinese rescue team also arrived at the airport, with Russia, Malaysia and Singapore also sending plane loads of relief supplies and personnel. Meanwhile, India's External Affairs Ministry has said that no Indian citizen has been killed in the deadly earthquake in Myanmar.
So far, no casualty has been reported among the Indian nationals, and we are in touch with all community organizations for their welfare, for their safety.
New Delhi is also dispatching ships with 40 tons of humanitarian aid and a field hospital to assist relief operations in Myanmar. All right, for more on this, we are now being joined live by Dave Grunbaum from Bangkok. Dave is a journalist and was based in Myanmar for many years. Dave, thanks so much for joining us. There are dozens of people trapped inside a collapsed building that was under construction in Bangkok when the earthquake hit. What's the latest on that? You're based in Bangkok as of now. Give us a basis on that first.
Well, rescue workers are searching frantically but very gingerly because it's a very delicate site and they don't want to disturb things so the situation gets even worse and you trap these people even further. They're using backhoes, they're using drones, of course they're using canines with their sense of smell. They've got these life detection machines that have picked up that there should be at least 15 people alive underneath that rubble. In fact, according to local media, some of them have been reached by cell phones, so they are trying to get to them, but it is a race against the clock because it's more than 48 hours since that building collapsed. These people have been trapped under there for so long. And we're going to hit nightfall here in a few hours, which means it will be the third night that these people have been like this. There's only so long the human body can go without food or water, even if you're in good health, let alone if there's anybody still alive underneath there that desperately needs medical attention. So they've got to get to these people soon. Another thing here is, of course, the investigation as to why this happened. Why did this building collapse? Local engineers have said that even though it was under construction, that building should have been able to withstand this. So the question comes up, was this due to a design flaw, or was there some sort of problem in the actual construction? The Thai government has promised a thorough and swift investigation with results possibly coming out in the next week or so. So people want to see that. But of course, right now, the focus is on trying to rescue everybody who's still alive underneath that rubble. Families of people trapped have gathered at the site. They are hoping, they are praying, and nervously waiting, hoping for some good news. We saw unfortunately, one dead body come out of there earlier today. But now everyone's really hoping for some good news that they can start to pull some people alive out of there.
There's definitely a race against time, but where it's far worse is in Myanmar. Let's shift focus to there. The USGS suggests that the death toll could exceed 10,000 in Myanmar. Give us a sense of the search operations and the rescue operations going on. Also, Mandalay Airport is closed due to the damage from the earthquake. How is that hindering rescue and aid operations?
Yeah, so you can't fly, Mandalay's the second biggest city in the country. Ordinarily, you think you could just fly planes in there, but because it's closed due to damage from the earthquake, at least so far it's closed. So now planes have got to be landed in other areas. Many of these planes have landed in Yangon, the biggest city, but it is far from the areas that were hit hard. So now they've got to bring those people on buses and trucks by road all the way up. The highway that you would ordinarily take all the way up, that would be a bare minimum of 8 hours by car if you're lucky. But parts of that highway are closed down because they've been damaged by the earthquake, which means now there's certain sections they can't use the highway and they've got to divert onto side roads and back roads to get there. So in some cases, it's taking 14 hours to get all the way from Yangon to Mandalay. That's a huge slowdown, obviously, especially, again, when it's a race against the clock to get to people in time. The hospitals in Myanmar are already completely overwhelmed. In some cases, they're treating people outside because they just don't have enough space inside. There's not enough doctors. Great that international aid has arrived, including India, which is the Indian Army is going to set up a field hospital in Mandalay. That cannot happen a moment too soon. But again, the devastation is just so huge. Keep in mind, even once you get up to Mandalay, to get to some of the areas outside of the city, many roads are closed down because the earthquake triggered landslides, which covered the road, so they can't get to these people. Then on top of that, telecommunication lines are down in many areas. So there are many villages that are in the quake zone that they don't even know how bad the situation is because they have not been able to reach anybody and they can't get to some of these villages because the roads are blocked down. Let's throw on another big factor on top of all of this. Keep in mind, Myanmar is a country that's been embroiled in a civil war for more than 4 years now, since the military staged a coup in 2021. The army, the junta, they don't even control 50% of the land. They control the big major cities of Mandalay, Naypyidaw, the capital, and Yangon, the biggest cities. But less than 50% of the territory of landmass is under the junta's control. The rest of it, it's under control in different pockets, different places. You've got different ethnic militia groups and different resistance groups that control them. And now one of the big questions is the aid is coming through the area controlled by the army when it flies into Yangon, when it gets to Mandalay or comes through Naypyidaw. Is the junta going to allow that aid to go to wherever it's needed? Or are they going to weaponize this humanitarian aid? They have a track record of doing that in the past. Are they going to do that this time or not? That's the question we do not know the answer to yet.
Those challenges are really stacked against the people of Myanmar at this point. But I want to quickly come back to where you are positioned as of now. Dave, you're in Bangkok, and even behind you, from a little glimpse that I get from behind, there are high rises every 50 meters. And from the reports that we've seen and the visuals that we've seen, there's major structural damage in so many of these high rises. There are cracks going through pillars. What kind of advisories have been issued to people in Bangkok, and as the aftershocks are still continuing to come in?
So far, I've seen no reports of any of these towers being closed down and being ruled that they're unsafe. But obviously, they've got engineers inspecting different buildings, trying to determine, what kind of condition they're in. They're asking residents to look and notice what kind of cracks do you see. They're also trying to put out, keep in mind, some buildings just have cracks long before the earthquake. So they're trying to put out messages on social media and on websites to try and give a sense of what's a crack that you should be concerned about. And what to look for that maybe is not as concerning, because they really need to prioritize certain buildings to try to get to them as quickly as possible, the ones that really need to be inspected.
All right, Dave, thanks so much for joining us and getting us a sense of exactly what's happening in Myanmar, because the challenges there are mounting one on top of the other, apart from the obvious which has happened. And there's also the political struggles from inside the country, which can also hamper the rescue and search operations, which is anyways a race against time. But we'll need to wait and watch how this one plans out. Hopes and prayers with the people in Mandalay, in Myanmar, and of course in Thailand. Thank you so much. That was Dave Grinbaum joining me from Bangkok.